your girl Monique Martinez here in New York City, getting ready to go to rehearsal for BET's show, Wildin' Out Wednesdays. Check me out. It's going to be a hot one, 6 o'clock your time today, Wednesday, July 29th. I want to say thank you to you guys, Wild 94.9. Thank you for all your love and support. I really, greatly, truly appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy this show. Love you.
My name is Monique Martinez. I'm from Redwood City, California, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I started making music at the age of 13. I started singing way before then, but started writing my own songs and just kind of getting familiar with the studio when I was 13 years old. It was a good start to something that would eventually become my greatest addiction. It's hard to stay motivated as a singer or songwriter. But honestly, listening to that real good, feel-good music is what keeps me going. For example, last night I attended a concert, and I probably wouldn't naturally go to this person's concert, but I just happened to say, yes, let's go see this person. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into, because once I started going through the motion of the show starting and hearing favorite songs that I haven't heard in a long time, it hit me in a way where I was just like, oh my God, like that is so motivating, and it makes me want to sing more. And so now I'm listening to these songs that I haven't heard in a really long time, and it's bringing me back to like, okay, well, what if I do a song that's similar to that style with that same feel? Because when I hit the stage, I want to be able to do that. It was amazing. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated, is to see people in their element doing what they do best. And then me being able to re-put that into my music, and I think it's really important to stay motivated. It's hard to stay in that mindset, but it's easy to get distracted. So when it comes back to it, like that's the greatest motivation, is to see people performing the songs that you originally love and want to try to adapt that to your craft. I can hear a really good song and be like, oh man, they really performed the crap out of that song. It's amazing. But to see somebody and the way they just like the passion that they have, the emotion, and having to bring back the emotion from a song that they wrote when they were just so torn, or they were so upset, or just so in love, to bring that emotion back out every single time, that's motivating. Not a lot of people can do that. I want to be able to do that when it comes to my music. As crazy as he is, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Kanye West is a whole different species of artist. I think there's only a few that are like that. Taylor Swift is another one. I think she's evolved so much, and she started at such a young age, and I don't think there's many people like that out there. There's for sure not many people like that out there. There's only a couple of songs that really get me to that point when it comes to singing. One song is a song that I dedicated to my grandfather when he was still alive. And I said, oh, look, Dad, I can sing that song. And he goes, oh, mija, más mejor. Tú eres más mejor que esa canción, which in his translation, it's like, you're way better than that. You can totally rock that song. And so when I finally sang it to him, he was very prideful, never cried. And I sang it to him, and he was just like, just tears, and he just looks at me and he's like proud, and it's just like, you don't have to say it, and he's just like, no, whatever. Let me carry on with the day. Like to this day, with him passing, it's been like 10 years. Every time I hear that song, or I even attempt to sing it, I'll end up in waterworks at some point. Yeah. I don't think I have a favorite or greatest. I feel like every accomplishment was pretty freaking awesome, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. I'm my own worst critic when it comes to it, but my favorite one would probably be recently. I was able to sing the national anthem for the Golden State Warriors, and before then I was able to do it for the Oakland Raiders and football games beyond that as well. Again, on 106 in Park, BET, like they're all little things. To me, like a lot of people would say that those are great accomplishments, but to me it's just like, I'm just doing what I love to do. I can't pick one There's just so many, and even if it's sitting in a circle working at my job and singing to the kids, I feel like that's also a good accomplishment. Singing with the littles and just trying to motivate them in their own way. Oh man, my whole experience on going on BET was extensive, but also it happened very, very fast. So I was told that I was gonna go perform, in front of all these people at a conference. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool, yeah, count me in. Didn't think much of it. 2 minutes before I was up, or maybe a little bit less than 2 minutes, because I think I must have been like the 5th person up. They told me, well, we're gonna judge you. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm in a room full of all kinds of rappers, and I'm gonna be judged. I'm maybe one of the only singers, and I was praying that there was gonna be other singers other than myself. And so luckily there was, and man, they were brutal. They were so brutal. I think I went, and I honestly didn't even consider that I was gonna be super performing, so I just wore whatever I was wearing that day. And I think it was I was wearing white, which made me look very angelic, which is weird now because all I wear is black. And so I go up on stage and I hit them with an acapella. And I said, no, if I'm going to sing one of my originals, I need to draw their attention. I need to hit them with something that they're going to be like, oh, that's dope. And totally before Michael Jackson died, I decided to do a rendition of Who's Loving You, mixed with his version and In Vogue's. So I had 5 minutes and they let me perform that and a snippet of my song. And once I was done, I was sitting in front of a panel from all kinds of executive producers and that were the judges, and some were artists. And we're talking about from Sony, from BET, from MTV, from world-class DJs, from people that would DJ for E40 to Mr. Fab. Mr. Fab was there presently. He was in that judge panel. And every single one of those DJs were like, no, I would never play your song in a club. Okay, it's not club material, obviously, and it's a little more pop than the hip hop sound that was going on at the time. But, that's cool. I don't expect you to play my song at the club. But do you like it? What would you do different? Give me something a little bit more constructive. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Our job was to shut up and just listen and to hear what they had to say. And I was just sitting there, and there were one after another bashing. And then towards the end, I run across Mr. Pat Charles, who is one of the executive or president producers of 106 in Parks, Wildin' Out Wednesdays, and 106 in Park in general. And he said, you know what, Monique? I don't know what it is, but you have such a light about you. And I think that, I see something in you. I would like to help you out. And I said, he said, give me 1 second, come back to me, because I wanna offer you something. I kind of want to offer a once in a lifetime deal. If you're down, just come back around to me. And so they were like, okay. They went through the rest of the lineup, and Mr. Fab was just like, yo, you're like the Bay Area's Mariah Carey. I'm speechless. I don't care what these knuckleheads said. You do you, and you keep going, because you've got something, and you've definitely got the voice. You can do a lot of things with it. And to me, that meant the world to me. I used to listen to Mr. Fab, growing up, and even currently do now. And that will never, ever go away. What he said pushed me to do so much more. And, ultimately, hey, I give you credit. Thank you for having my back at a crucial time when everybody was just no, we don't like you. So then going back into Pat Charles's offer, he then offered me the slot to be one of 5 contestants that was chosen that day to be on 106 in Parks Wildin' Out Wednesday. And so he said, if you're up for it, come down to New York. I'm going to put you on BET. You're going to compete against, other girls that are similar to your style of music. And, America's going to vote. And I'm like, okay. Sure, why not? So I ended up giving him my contact information. Within a week and a half to 3 weeks later, I want to say, I can't remember the time span, but it happened really fast, that he called me and he says, I have a date for you. Can you make it? And I'm like, shoot, how am I going to get from Redwood City to New York on zero budget? So I made it happen. And thanks to my family, like I had a cousin that said, no, you need to go. You need to do this. And, I had been crying about it. Like, what am I going to do? I can't spend all this money. And so he booked my flight. And to this day, forever grateful to my cousin Augie, because he definitely pushed that button and that pulled that trigger to be like, no, you need to go. And so my parents were like, all right, well, we're coming with you. We're going to make this happen now. Now everybody's on board. Let's go. And so the first time around, I took my dad and I had Ivan with us as well, Mr. Ivan Reyes. He was one of the producers that produced the track that I ended up performing, and we ended up doing really well. We won the first round by, I want to say, 2% or 3%, and I was just dumbfounded. One of the first Latinas to be on 106 in Park, or in that competition to actually win was pretty awesome. And that was a great experience that I could never take for granted. And, like looking back at it now, I just like, damn, those sleepless nights, I did that. That was super cool. And I couldn't have done it without the support system that I had and the music team that I had at the time. And the ever evolving work that I put in the studio with Mr. Ivan, because he's the number one person. I would have never thought that we'd be working together, but he stuck it through. So, and I'm proud. I'm happy to say that we're still going strong, working on some awesome music to this day. Oh man, so with all this experience that I was able to go through, I was able to do I guess the final round of championships that they did with BET, and I lost that by 1%. It was a humbling experience because I was like, so damn close. But at the same time, I had other opportunities and other doors were opening. People would be like, well, you sing, okay, but what else do you do? And it's like, it's not what I do, it's what I was able to accomplish. Because I feel like each accomplishment has brought me to be the person that I am today. It was challenging. You learn a lot about yourself going through all these experiences. I was able to walk on red carpets, and we're talking about mansion parties in LA. And if I had to go back and do it again, I probably would, just because it was such a shit show and it was fun. And it's like, hey, why not? Let's go experience life. And I was young at the time. But going back to it now, I mean, I'm happy where I'm at. I do music, and I do it solely because my spirit feels really good to release the songs that are on my heart, that are in my heart and on my mind. And I would say that this story is just a part of it, and it's continuing and it's ever evolving. And a lot of people will say, oh, she fell off. But no, it's okay. We're getting there. I'm putting out the music that I love to do now and that I really want to get out so that people can feel it. And I feel like there's going to be some changes coming, and just stay tuned. I feel like you guys might dig it. If you don't, it's cool. Whatever. We're here, though. We're still doing it. I've always been expressive towards different types of genres. My short and long-term goal, I say they coincide together, is to really bring music back to the element of where it originated from. And in my opinion, what I grew up listening to was a lot of Motown, listening to Etta James, like even the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra. Music is not made like that anymore. I feel like whatever music I want to put out, it needs to be relevant to what's good in the times now, but I don't want to skip that portion of like where we originally came from. Yeah, it sounds a little old, but how many people out there do you see doing that? And then the people that you do see have passed away. I mean, look at Amy Winehouse. I think she had such a stellar voice and a stellar sound that people are forgetting. Like that could be something too. This mumble rap is interesting. I mean, but it's not my favorite. I like to articulate and really put my meaning out there. And so my goal is to switch up my genre a little bit and really stay true to the music that I really want to put out. I have a couple of projects that are coming out within the next couple of weeks, months maybe. I feel like that's going to be a release because all that music has been bottled in, and then it's going to open up another chapter for me to do music that's more spiritual and more heartfelt, so that my listeners can say, oh my goodness, I went through that the other day. Like, I can totally relate to this song. And then pass it along to people that are like, oh my God, I thought of this. When I heard this song, I thought of you. So that's my goal, is to make sure that I can continue to make that feel good music so people can like carry on and listen to. That's all. I think that, wouldn't that be everybody's goal? But who knows? We're working on it. As a female who is Latina, there's a lot of barriers that we have to cross. Being a female in the industry is already a freaking challenge. And I think it sucks because a lot of girls will consider each other competition. I honestly, if I come across somebody who's a good singer, or they have something about them that is just so light filled, like, I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna welcome you. I'm gonna welcome you with open arms. I haven't had that reception in a long time from other females. There's a couple of girls that I can honestly say, like, yeah, that's my homegirl. She sings too. Because everybody thinks of this competition. And it's a male-predominant industry, let's be real. Guys will sit there and say, oh, you have it easy because all you got to do is just show a little cleavage and shake a little ass and, you can get what you want. No, because if you do all that, they're expected more. Like, people are going to want more. And let's be real, that's not every girl's dream, to sit there and like be identified or objectified. Like, that's what you have to do to get there. And it sucks. It's an ongoing struggle. I wish I could change it. I feel like talking about it and making it an issue and putting it up there and out in people's face will semi make it better. But honestly, like, girls have to stick together. They really got to stick together, because if we have so much power, and I know we do, this whole game could change. It's just, you got to be willing to take those little sacrifices. It sucks, but it's reality. And, I pray that one day it'll be a little bit better for my fellow Latina women out there in the industry, women in general. Any advice that I give people to pursue this type of work is doubt. If you doubt yourself, you're not, like, you have to have 1,000% confidence coming into this business. You need to believe in yourself, and don't take no for an answer. And if people do say no, okay, find another way around it. I honestly think that, like, girls in this industry, there's so much potential for growth in general as a musician or a music artist. Just do it. It's a tough business. You have to have thick skin. But if you believe in yourself, I don't think whatever anybody says to you, it doesn't matter. Because there's so many times that even from my own family, when I first started singing, they said, what? You're going to become a singer? What a joke. Go be a lawyer. Go do something with your life. No. You're going to be pregnant by 15. Guaranteed. And so we laugh about stuff like this because you're placing girls in a box. You're placing people in a box. And I'll tell you, I don't do well in boxes. I've built my own boxes before where I'm like, okay, I need to shut down a little bit. Take a deep breath because the world is a little crazy. But it ain't you. And then you come back out and you just have to go and keep that motivation running. The thick skin is like very key, and if you believe in yourself, people will believe in you too. So you just gotta keep working at your craft and don't stop. No matter what life brings you and what obstacles you have to face, if this is truly something that you're passionate about, keep going. Don't stop. I'll tell you, even though I may not seem like I'm doing too much, I'm always writing, I'm always singing, I'm always looking at things to do to warm up my vocals better. Like I said, I have my own glee club in my mind, and sometimes I have conversations with people and I whip out into song. Like, that's just like how I keep myself motivated. I keep myself going because I love to sing. I love doing music, and just, that is my best advice, is keep going. Doesn't matter what people say, just keep going. Well, social media is a big game. I always encourage people to follow me if you want to stay up to date. My social media account, MoMusic247, all around Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, all that jazz. You will find me, MoMusic247. I'm currently working on a couple of projects with Zero Alias Music that I'm very excited to put out. We got a couple of features with James the Spitta, and constantly in the studio and bugging Ivan Reyes, so major shout out to him for all the work that he puts in. I'm just excited. I hope that this next wave of music is something people can rock with and just kind of feel the grit in it. It's a little different, but know that there's going to be a whole new different side of Mo that people will start to see after this music comes out, and it's all evolving. It's all going to a main purpose, and just stay tuned. Everything happens for a reason. We are not here by mistake. And everything that we happen to go through in life, there is a greater purpose for it. Keep shining, keep trusting the process, and keep believing that, everything is going to come out to the result that you need it to be, and that what it needs to be is part of life. Whether that's good or bad for you, just keep pushing on, and just know that for those who ever need guidance in self-healing and knowing how to push through these obstacles in life, my line's open. Drop a DM, drop a message. I'm always there to help. And just, that's kind of what I tell everybody, from family to nieces to nephews to friends, and now them, everybody out there. Just let me know.